Hello and welcome to NFL Week 17 predictions. See if Logan will go 3-0 this week. Will there be a new winner? Find out in a second. Okay, so as you can see, we do have a new winner this week. Greg has won this week. He hasn't won in a while, so it's good to see him win again. He won 11 games, so his overall is 105 and 73 now. And then I won 10 games, one short of that, unfortunately, so I would have tied for first place, but Greg got first place, so congratulations to him. I got 10 wins, which is still pretty good. So my overall is 142 and 96. And then moving on to Logan, he was one game short of me with 9-7, so that's kind of funny. All of us were one game apart. It was very close this week, 11, 10, 9. So his overall is 29-16, and unfortunately he won't be making his picks this week because he's sick, so hope he gets better soon. So hopefully we'd have him on next week. Okay, so first game we have Thursday Night Football, which is tonight. Me and Greg are both taking the Cowboys. I think this is pretty obvious. The Titans are starting their third string quarterback. They pretty much already have given up. Which I don't really understand too much because the Jaguars are only a game ahead of them. And their game next week will basically decide the division whether the Titans lose this game or not. So starting your third string quarterback doesn't seem like the most logical decision here. But Derrick Henry will also probably be out, and that's obviously the Titans' biggest weapon, so I could somewhat understand it. They want to keep everybody healthy for next week against the Jaguars, since that will basically decide the division. But as we could see, as we've seen, the Cowboys have problems with teams that they should beat. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans won this game. Then the Cowboys just had an off day with Dak throwing interceptions. Titans stop Pollard and Elliott. CeeDee Lamb can't do anything. And then the defense just gives up too many yards. So we'll see, but I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. Then we have the Cardinals and the Falcons, a meaningless game. Both teams are eliminated from the playoffs. Greg got the Cardinals. I'm taking the Falcons. Yeah, Hopkins is playing as far as I know. The Falcons look good early in the season, but they just collapsed, which isn't too surprising. And then the Cardinals are just riddled with injury. So I'm going to take the Falcons here, mostly just because they're at home. But the Cardinals could definitely win this game. Then we have Dolphins, Patriots. Greg's saying the Dolphins, I'm taking the Patriots. It's pretty obvious why I'm taking the Patriots, because Tua is not playing. As much as I'd like to take the Dolphins because I'm a Dolphins fan, but I gotta take the Patriots at home in this one. But you know, Teddy Bridgewater could get it going. The sad thing is that we haven't really seen what the Dolphins offense could do since they played the Ravens in week 3 or something. Like, we haven't really got those explosive plays recently, so if the Dolphins could get going again, then they'll make the playoffs, but we'll see. Then we have the Saints and the Eagles. As you can see, I put the star for Greg. This is a thing that Logan implemented. It basically means you're going to pick that team no matter what. Like, Logan's going to pick the Steelers no matter what because he's a Steelers fan. Greg's going to pick the Saints no matter what because he's a Saints fan. I do not follow this procedure because I try to win in picks. I know that sounds kind of bad, but maybe I should be doing it, but if I think my team is going to lose, I have to bet against them because I'm just trying to get the point. Of course, I'll still be rooting for them, but if I think they're going to lose, then I got to bet against them. It hasn't worked out for me, at least not for the 49ers, so it's definitely backfired, but Logan actually picking the Steelers every week has worked better than me picking against the 49ers. So that's kind of funny. But back on this game, Logan has the Saints. I have the Eagles. I could see the Saints winning this game because the Eagles because Hurts is injured. And as we could see with the Eagles, they had an off game against Washington. One of the two losses they had, one was Cowboys and the other one was to Washington, which both I predicted, so I know how to pick Eagles games. I originally took the Saints here, and then I changed it just because the Saints are way too inconsistent for me to pick them. But I could definitely see the Saints winning this. And then we have the Colts and the Giants. Me and Greg both taking the Giants. No surprise here. The Colts are not good, but could Nick Foles pull it off? I'm pretty sure they're already eliminated from the playoffs, so he can't save them from that. But maybe you could just get them a win. That would probably be enough for Colts fans. But Giants have been pretty inconsistent recently, but they're at home. They should win this game. Then we have Panthers, Bucks. Greg got the Buccaneers. I got the Panthers. This is to decide the division pretty much. I've gone over all the playoff scenarios and how this goes. Basically, the Panthers beat the Buccaneers earlier in the season. So if the Panthers win this game, the division is theirs unless the Saints could win both their games. So, yeah, if the Buccaneers lose this game, if I'm not mistaken, there's no way they could make the playoffs. But if I think for the Saints, if the Saints just win and then beat the Panthers in Week 18, they're in the playoffs. But I'm not too sure. They might have to have the Buccaneers win and the Panthers lose this game. But I have the Panthers because they beat them earlier in the season. And the Buccaneers have not looked good recently. They almost lost against the Cardinals. So I got the Panthers here. The Buccaneers are at home, though, so that might sway towards their favor. They probably are favorites in this game, is what I meant to say. But I have the Panthers nonetheless. And then we have Broncos, Chiefs. Me and Greg both taking Chiefs. Not surprising. The Broncos lost to the Rams by the Broncos defense let the Rams score 51 points on them. Going into that game, Logan and Greg both took the Rams, and I was the only one to take the Broncos. And I was like, why are they not taking the Broncos? Because the Broncos beat the Cardinals with a backup quarterback. I was like, Russell Wilson's better than backup quarterback, right? Why would they pick the Rams? And then it really showed why they picked the Rams. So, yeah, I don't see the Broncos winning this game, but upsets do happen, so that could happen. But I did not pick them, and neither did Greg. Then we have Bears and Lions. Greg taking the Bears. Don't think they're going to win. They're still tanking. I took the Lions. It's basically, the playoffs have basically come down to Washington for the 7 seed at least. The 6 seed is pretty much the Giants. As long as the Giants don't mess it up, the Giants pretty much have the 6 seed. But for the 7 seed, it's between Seattle, Washington, Detroit, and Green Bay. And I think that's it. And then there's a couple, like 1% in there, like the Saints. So this is a pivotal game for the Lions at home. So we'll see if they could get it done. I think they can. They could be inconsistent sometimes. Like last week, they lost to the... Shoot, who did they lose to? The Panthers. Yeah, they lost to the Panthers, and a very embarrassing loss for them. So obviously they could have those games. But I am going to take them at home. And then Browns, Washington, another split on this one. So that's nice to see. Greg's got the Browns. I have Washington. at home. Both teams are pretty inconsistent. The Washington is starting Carson Wentz now, and Deshaun Watson has not looked good. Browns have a good defense though, but so do Washington. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be 23-20 for Washington in the end. Might even go into overtime. Then we have Jaguars, Texans, both hitting the Jaguars here. Kind of mad that I didn't pick the Texans last week because I had picked the Texans all week until it came up to when I recorded the video. I switched it last second, and it costed me a point. So I'm kind of back and forth on this one because I want to take the Texans at home, but the Jaguars are battling for the division. I don't think that they could lose. They can't risk losing this game. So I think that they'll do just enough to get the win here, but the Texans could win. Then we have 49ers, Raiders. So we're both taking the 49ers. The Raiders are starting Stidham instead of Derek Carr. So I don't even know what's going on there. I mean, Derek Carr has been throwing interceptions lately. So yeah, pretty obviously why I'm taking the 49ers here. Before they benched Derek Carr, I was actually back and forth on this game. If I do take the Raiders, because they have a bunch of offensive weapons just like the 49ers do. And I think that Derek Carr is better than Brock Purdy. I mean, not recently, but over his whole career, he should be better than him. So, realistically, if the Raiders could do enough on offense, they should get the win. But without Derek Carr, I'm not picking them. And then we have Jets, Seahawks. Greg's taking the Jets. Jets have a good defense, but Mike White is still injured. So that's why I'm not picking them. I'm taking Seattle here. I think DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are both questionable, which is very unfortunate. I don't even know who Geno Smith is going to be throwing it to. So, but the Jets also have a very bad quarterback right now. So I think if the Jets can't do anything on offense, what they've shown they can't do on offense, Seattle should get the win here. And then we have Vikings, Packers. I'm taking the Packers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers talking about running the table. He could still do it. They still have a chance to get in the playoffs. They're at home. They have a good record against the Vikings, so I'm going to take them at home, although a very inconsistent team. But so are the Vikings, at least on offense. They were down 33 points to the Colts before they decided to wake up. So Kirk Cousins has made too many mistakes. I think that Packers defense is going to capitalize, kind of like what they did against the Dolphins last week. And the Packers are going to get the win. Then we have Chargers, Rams, both taking the Chargers here. It's Battle of LA. So it doesn't really even matter who's home here. It might be Rams at Chargers, but they're both in this. They both are in the same stadium, so they're both at home basically. But the Chargers should get a win here. If they don't, then I can't even say it's embarrassing anymore because the Rams have actually looked good. They beat the Raiders and the Broncos. If they could beat the Chargers, that would be good for the Dolphins. Well, actually, no, the Chargers already berthed the playoff spot with the 5 seed, so I guess it wouldn't really matter. But we both have the Chargers. As you can see, we have Logan on this pick just because, as I said earlier, he's going to take the Steelers no matter what. So I put him over there. So he could go either 1-0 this week or 0-1. So we'll see. And then me and Greg also took the Steelers. Surprised nobody took the Ravens, but the Ravens Lamar isn't playing, so that's not too surprising. So as long as Pickett doesn't get a concussion, I think that he's going to win this game. Even though I put him in cons, I think he's still better than Trubisky. And then we have Monday night Bills, Bengals. Me and Greg both taking the Bengals. Too many offensive weapons for the Bills defense to handle, I think. But the Bengals are inconsistent, so this will be an interesting game. But I like the Bengals at home. Okay, that's it for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for Week 18 predictions, which is our last week until we go into the playoffs. So we get excited for that. I'll have some other content on here. I'll be doing a cartoon tier list soon, so I haven't done one of those in a while. And then other content, I'm not too sure, but make sure to subscribe, get those surprise uploads. Other than predictions, obviously, will be every Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on when I get Greg and Logan's picks. So, see you.